So the reports have it that iPhone 14 and long-awaited and anticipated iPhone 14 Plus are flopping. And well, I don't think this is a huge surprise considering the prices and the overall state of the iPhone lineup. But let's dig a little bit deeper into that. And with the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, here's the thing. These are great smartphones. To be honest, yeah, they are. They don't have 120Hz telephoto camera. Maybe they don't have the top specs Apple can, master to put into these phones. But they are still great smartphones with top performance, beautiful screens, good design, solid battery life, great OS. And yet they are not being sold the way we should expect. And well, I mean, it's kind of obvious considering the current strategy of Apple. They want you to spend as much money as possible, so they direct all of their resources into the Pro lineup. That was, apparent a year ago with the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro, when the differences were becoming bigger and bigger. But now, like the iPhone 14 is virtually pretty much iPhone 13. I mean, they look the same, they have the same screen, the same single core performance, multi-core performance, they have very similar cameras, similar battery life, they are so similar. Yes, iPhone 14 is an improvement, but it is such a minor upgrade that most people will either go for cheaper iPhone 14 or just spend the extra $200 and go for the Pro model that offers you so much more. And that so much more includes, dynamic island, way better screen, way brighter screen, way smoother screen, better, more premium build, 48 megapixel camera, extra, telephoto zooms, 2x and 3x optical. As I said, better build, possibly always on display, and all of these new flagship features that iPhones Pro have. And yes, people say, I don't need 120Hz, I don't need stainless steel, telephoto, and stuff like that. Yes, maybe you don't, probably you don't. Then you go for iPhone 14. But as the sales reports show us, that's actually not the case. When people see that iPhone 14 is so much inferior when it comes to direct comparison to the iPhone 14 Pro, people are like, if I'm already paying plenty of money for the smartphone and there is such a big difference, why just not pay more and have the full and complete experience of the iPhone that the Pro model provides? And it's not that the iPhone 14 or 14 Plus are bad, it's just the prices and the current places in the lineup are so bad for these models that people just don't want to buy them. That's the decoy effect that, Apple is really pushing hard with all of their lineup in 2022, pushing you toward, these more expensive products that seem to be better deal because those cheaper ones are just, poorly done. I want to avoid this word at all costs, but let's be honest. I mean, if we look at 13-inch MacBook Pro, this one is really poorly done compared, to M2 MacBook Air or, for example, the 14-inch MacBook Pro. Same with the iPad lineup, iPad 10, iPad Air. They are so inferior to the, Pro models that it's getting really crazy, to be honest. They nerf these products on purpose, so the more expensive ones seem to be so much better. Of course, it's not that simple because, for example, if the A14 chip only has, that's on the iPad 10, only has USB 2.0 speeds. So obvious, if they implement it to iPad 10, it's still gonna have USB 2.0 speeds, even though it's USB-C, of course. But still, if we consider how bad of a place there is for iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, how little of the price gaps there are between them and the Pro models, and that iPhone 14 being $100 cheaper while being pretty much the same phone, it's pretty obvious why iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, are flopping. People wanted a bigger smartphone, which iPhone 14 Plus of course is. It has great battery life, it's a great smartphone overall. But if you consider how much you get extra for the extra cash that you spend on the Pro Max model, always on display, faster CPU, which was never the case really in an iPhone since iPhone 5C, better build, extra camera features, it's getting so much better of a deal that it's hard to just, neglect that fact and go for the regular model, even if these are good smartphones. You just see those Pro models and that's the only thing you care about because Apple made them look so much better than the regular models. Thus they get more money for that, and we don't blame them because they are the company. They do what they are supposed to. That's why they are so successful. That's why we love their products so much, because they are so successful and create decent products. But with the iPhone 14 lineup, well, it's really complicated. I'm curious how it's gonna look further in the future, like with the iPhone 15, since these are supposed to still have 60 Hz. I don't know if they're gonna be redesigned in a big way. Hope so that Apple will lower the prices a little compared to the Pro models, so they will seem a better deal. But it's really hard to hope when you see the fact that Apple is really pushing you toward these Pro models that are more expensive, that will give their overall better cash returns. So yeah, it's pretty obvious, and that's the reason why iPhone 14 and 14 Plus are flopping compared to the anticipation of these models.